Hi, my name's Chris and this is Calvin. In this video, we're going to go through 4 rear delt exercises. So, for the first 2, we're going to go back to back. So for Calvin, we're just going to demonstrate lying down into a rear delt fly. So you want to place yourself chest down, supported onto the bench on a slight incline with enough distance that you can reach down to the ground with clearance. From there, you're going to keep the elbows in the same position and just come out to the side. Think about your thumbs pointing towards the ground. So if you just come up and out, and we're really feeling it in the rear delts here. If you just give me a few reps there, Calvin, and you can just see it's a nice, slow, controlled rep, making sure that we're not pulling back and rotating the arms. We're trying to keep the thumbs pointed down and keeping the focus into the rear delts. When you start to hit failure on this exercise, you'll struggle to hit a full rep. So at that point, I want you to go into a row. So now we bend the elbows and pull a little bit more of the traps in, still focusing on the rear delts, because at that point they'll already be fatigued and you can hit a more big stimulus with that second exercise back to back with the first. For this next exercise, we're going to do a unilateral rear delt raise. So for this one, we'll lie on the bench flat. We're going to secure your position before you start doing the exercise so you make sure you're stable and not going to fall off the bench at any point. And from there, we're going to grab a dumbbell on the floor, keep the elbow locked in position and just move through the rear delt, just moving through the shoulder. So everything's focused around here. We can use that bottom arm to feel the muscle working as well and help secure our position a little bit further. But it's a very slow, controlled movement. You don't want to be swinging excessively. You don't want to be moving through the elbow. It's just focused, everything in here, and takes the other muscles out of the movement. You'll find on this one that you don't need much weight. It's not a strong movement. It's only a very small muscle. So just keeping it nice and light and very controlled, we'll see that rear delt fatigue fast and feel that muscle really start to burn. At that point, when your reps start to fail, come to the end of the set and swap sides. For this next exercise, we're going to do a bent over wide grip barbell row. So you'll see the big difference in this technique from doing a normal barbell row for your lats. And for your back, it's a much weaker movement. So obviously, if you're for your lats, we're here. As soon as we start bringing the elbows up, taking those muscles out and using the smaller rear delt muscles, you can't use the same kind of weight. So the reason we have an empty bar for this exercise is to make sure we get the technique right. And I would advise everyone to start on that point. If you're then able to do it quite easily, start progressing the weight up. I wouldn't say to start with weight on the bar. So for this exercise, we've chosen an empty bar to make sure you can get a technique right. If you're okay with the empty bar, then start to progress the weight up. Calvin, if you want to just grab hold of the bar for me, if you look at how wide we're going to grip it, you've got the normal lines around the bar as your markers. Try and go around those lines so it's outside of shoulder width. And then from there, obviously careful as you pick it up, lock your back in, and you want to stay really leaned over quite far, and then pulling the elbows up and out as you row. So you're not trying to pull it into your hips like a normal barbell row. You're trying to pull up and out. If you come to the top, and trying to pull the elbows as far around as we can and keep it into the rear delts. If you start pulling the elbows back, you start engaging the back more and more, and that takes away from the movement we're trying to do. But that's also what you'll see if it's too heavy. So Calvin, if you're thinking about it being too heavy now and then we're pulling from here, so if you sort of pull up as a normal barbell row, straight away you can start to see the other muscles engage because it's a little bit too heavy, or people might start to stand up, use momentum as they go up and down, again, like a normal barbell row. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep the focus into the upper back, into the rear delts. Just like that. If you put that back down, you'll see the same with any of these movements. The main thing we need to do is make sure the weight is appropriate. If you go too heavy, it'll be the same sort of thing where people will start to rotate, they'll start to engage their back muscles because they're stronger. The rear delts are only very minor muscles. They're quite weak. They're not going to be able to pull the same kind of a load that you can with a normal row for your back. So always keep the weight light and progress up from there. Don't try and start heavy. Don't think because you can row a 30 kilo dumbbell that you'll be able to rear delt fly anything near that. And that's why I've chosen lightweights today, to demonstrate the correct technique. And then you can progress forward in that manner using the exercises that recruit the muscles the best way possible. So guys, there are 4 rear delt exercises. They're going to be especially useful if you have minimal equipment. But obviously if you have a more equipped gym or facility, you could add things like a cable rear delt fly or a reverse pec deck, which will also recruit these same muscles. These are great alternatives to get you started though, especially if you're training with minimal kit. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like below and head over to the Myprotein YouTube channel to join us for more videos just like this.